definitely there are some roles where I'm thinking of my cheeseburger in the cantina.
Really? More like the third lady when you say
Yeah,
third?
absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah. Sometimes maybe there's like a cheeseburger before the end of the show, you know?
I've had journalists ask me like, oh, if you didn't do opera, what would you do then? And I said, probably make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that I am treated a lot better, than she is sometimes. And I'm very, I feel very lucky that I have that privilege, but it also makes me very sad to think about, the types of things she has to deal with at work, even now.
I wish people would be appreciated as individual artists. It's so much more interesting when you have individual artists and not everybody trying to be the same thing.
Welcome to Classic Doppio. My name is Eneas Hum, and this is our first English episode. I'm very happy that you are all listening. And to everybody that is listening to this podcast for the first time, I'm an opera singer, and I have a lot of friends that I enjoy talking to. And this is why I invite all of them to my coffee machine, something I love dearly. And today I have the great pleasure of welcoming Ariana and Lucia Lucas to my home. They're wonderful opera singers. They're artists, they're fighters, and they're some of my closest friends. I think on my WhatsApp, both of you are in the top 3. Welcome.
Yay!
We have gotten to know each other during a time when the world was shut down. We met in Karlsruhe at the Badisches Staatstheater. And I think friendships that started during COVID are something special. We're here in Berlin, a city that is, so special for the arts. And you have lived here, Lucia. You were at Deutsche Oper. When you think of Berlin, what comes to mind?
I love Berlin because it's a giant international city. I've lived in a few different ones, but Berlin was my first time in Germany, and I had come basically directly from Chicago. So it wasn't that much of a shocking experience for me. And also while I was trying to learn German, it was a very light introduction to German because people love speaking English in Berlin.
And for you, Ariana, what do you think of when you hear the name Berlin?
No. Fun. I think this was also the first place that I ever came in Germany to visit Lucia when she was at Deutsche Oper. I was studying in San Francisco, so I would come here to hang out with her and then go back to school. So...
Where did you live? You lived in Charlottenburg during this time?
Yeah, I lived right across from the Opera House, actually.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, there was a stipendium. So the stipendium basically owned the housing there.
Yeah.
Or rented the housing there. So we just showed up and did our job.
This is a program that still exists. Like the Deutsche Oper has a few young American singers each year. They come, they get basically more training here at Deutsche Oper and still exists, right? You were one of those.
Yeah. It's funny because it's a stipendium, which, is like a young artists program, but really it is a fest for most of the people involved. For me, I did 46 performances my first year here. So of course I was on stage all the time.
Where we met in Karlsruhe, it was you were fest in Karlsruhe for some years. Then Ariana was fest in Karlsruhe, and then I joined Karlsruhe. You both sang big roles in Karlsruhe at Badisches Staatstheater, which is a big house, has a great repertoire. Which operas have you actually sung together in the last years?
Did we sing anything together? I don't know if we sang anything together at Karlsruhe.
No.
You have never sung together.
We had our name on the dressing room once at on the same day, but we were not in the same show.
Yeah, we were singing at the same time there, but we never did a show together at Karlsruhe. We did do a couple things in some other cities. I think Wuppertal.
Yes, when I drowned you in mud.
Yes, she drowned me in mud. So
what show was that?
Götterdämmerung.
Götterdämmerung.
Flosstilde.
So it's dangerous, for us to work together.
Yeah.
This is what we're saying.
And then we did a Wagner concert many years later, and that's it.
So I want to introduce you, of course, to our wonderful audience. And Lucia Lucas, You have made history as one of the world's first transgender opera singers singing on stages of major opera houses in the world. You've sung at the Met, the Metropolitan Opera in New York, at Deutsche Oper Berlin, and you have appeared in modern operas, which is a big accomplishment. I think musicians that, take time to focus on modern repertoire, it's not something that happens often. And you are the star of Lily Elbe by Tobias Picker, a wonderful composer. He's world known. And this opera was written for you specifically. You were, we will later talk about this, of course, more in the show, but you were involved in the process of the creation of that show. It's one of your other talents than singing. You are a creator of arts. And you also will be the star of Lily Elbe in Santa Fe at the festival in 2026. It will have its US premiere. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. I think I will come actually to see that.
Fantastic.
And Ariana, you are one of the few contraltos that we have around. It's such a specific voice type. Contraltos are not, they don't exist often, and you have really made a name for yourself in opera houses around Europe, around America, and you also sang in China. You sang Wagner in China, something really exciting. I think one of your core roles, as far as I know you, is Erda in Rheingold. It's one of the best recordings I know, when you sing Weiche Wotan. And I had the big pleasure of hearing your premiere and your debut as Clytemnestra in Richard Strauss' Elektra in St. Gallen. Something that I really admire about both of you, and this is why I wanted you on the podcast, is your ability to create a character, because we always sing roles that already exist, right? There are often 100 singers that have already worked on these characters. So sometimes we open a score and we have an idea what a character like a Cherubino or anything should look like, or a Conte, or Clytemnestra, Wotan, which you sing. But something I really think stands out in both of your careers is your unique presentation of characters. How do you prepare roles? How do you learn them?
I think a lot of people look at a score to see what they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And I like to look at a score to sort of see the framework of the character, mm-hmm. to see what I can't do. Like, I really want to push the character. I like to look for origin stories. If somebody's evil, why are they evil? Because it's always more interesting, and you always can empathize, especially because I play so many evil characters. Yeah. When you can empathize with the villain, mm-hmm. you're so much more entertained with the story. Mm-hmm. So I look for the hidden things, not just what's on the page.
When you prepared Clytemnestra, like I think it's one of the craziest parts ever written for the human voice. I mean, she has basically one entrance, and then she's the domina of that scene. How do you learn this?
I think I love this part so much. Strauss wrote so beautifully for contralto voice, and it's very much a pleasure that this exists. And it's not just some silly, tanta or like aunt or grandmother. It's a real fleshed out person. Yeah. He gave a lot of beautiful things to this character. Mm-hmm. So I feel very lucky, of course, to do it. I think with every role, I think for me, the biggest thing is maybe empathy. Mm-hmm. Finding some way that I can relate to these people and what they've gone through and their struggles, and if I can feel what they're feeling. Mm-hmm. My first acting teacher, I remember we had like a page in our book when I was like 15, and it was about substitution and finding like a moment in your life that you experienced that is similar to the character, and mm-hmm. Thinking about that when you're trying to find this relationship so that it's real. Mm-hmm. Because I think that there is truth in everything. I always want to find the truth, the core of the scene, and mm-hmm. to say something real that I really believe in. Yeah. So that's important for me to find in every character, whether it's a silly character, a comic character, or if it's, a great character. There's always some text, some line, some situation that I can say this happened in my life. I understand what that feels like.
Because we have to find humanity in what we do. Well, we are here at the podcast Classic Doppio, the podcast that combines great conversations with wonderful coffee. And the coffee that we drink in this podcast is presented by Röststätte Berlin, a wonderful company. They have beautiful shops here. And they have a coffee that is called Sinfonia. And I'm very happy to now prepare some coffee for you. What do you want to drink?
I'd love a flat white.
With regular milk?
With regular milk.
Mm-hmm.
I would love a cappuccino also with regular milk.
Wonderful. So I will make this coffee now. This coffee machine can make a lot of noise. Sometimes it starts to make like boo in the middle of the night when you forget it. Yeah.
It's a beautiful coffee.
It is so beautiful. To me, this machine has like a vibe.
Yeah.
Whenever I come home, and it's usually the first thing I do when I come home from the airport or the train station, at any time of the day, I turn it on and I make myself an espresso. It's like a sign of I'm back.
Oh.
I survived the trip, the tour, whatever happened, like I'm here, I'm back.
I hear they're temperamental too. You have to talk to them.
You have to talk, you have to
let them know you're okay. You're here and they're okay.
Okay, so now we have the coffee. Cheers. Cheers. I hope you like the Sinfonia. Don't you think a theater canteen or a canteen of any opera house is delicious. The coffee? You like it?
Very, very good.
Don't you think a canteen of any opera house without coffee is a crime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, right? What is the main quality of a good canteen?
It's judged by its coffee.
Judged by its coffee, right?
I mean,
they need good coffee. Yeah,
I think so.
I think they also need a nice Brötchen that you can just run in and grab in a run.
Or like a pretzel.
Yeah, it's some sort of handheld meal.
What do you eat after a show? Like, is there something you always do? You're on stage and you think during the second aria, I need this currywurst, cheeseburger.
Always a cheeseburger.
Right. Okay.
It's like what gets me to the end sometimes. I'm like,
really? Are you singing Clytemnestra and then you think, oh my God, these French fries are waiting? Is that what goes through your mind?
I wouldn't say with Clytemnestra, but definitely there are some roles where I'm thinking of my cheeseburger in the cantina.
Really? More like the third lady when you sing
absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah. Sometimes maybe there's like a cheeseburger before the end of the show,
I mean, if it's Wagner, you got to get something in the middle.
You sing a lot of Wagner, like you sang Wotan, Fliegender Holländer. You sang, of course, Erda. You sang the Norns. You sang Mary in Fliegender. Is her name Mary? I always...
Is it Mary or Mar?
Mary, right?
Mary,
in Fliegender Holländer.
Yeah.
Is that Mary? She's called. I called her Nancy.
Yeah, we're calling her Nancy. We're calling her. She looks like a Nancy.
She is Nancy.
She's Nancy. I know.
She shows up for 5 minutes, sings a little Spinnenlied. For me, Wagner should have called her Nancy.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I actually congratulated Ariana. I was like, "Oh, you're going to be singing Nancy in Wiesbaden," and she was like, what am I, what are you talking about? And I said, no, it's online. You're Nancy. And then I think it gave you a little scare. Mm-hmm. And that now we checked. So her name is Mary in Fliegender Holländer.
You always have to check though, because sometimes there's like a culture thing and they call a role something and you need to know the nicknames of the roles too, especially in Wagner.
In Italian opera, sometimes they call a character Mamma. Or like Giovanni, and everybody talks about Giovanni. I'm like, who are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, it's actually my role. Yeah, that's true. There's a culture of divinations.
Or Sasha. That's like 51% of the roles in the Slavic repertoire.
Yeah. Sasha or Mary. There's also Marie, right? Marie in a lot of Czech operas. Yeah. What's your favorite language to sing in?
Well, I'm singing like 95% in German, so I think I have to say I sang...
It would be weird if you say Icelandic, yeah.
Yeah, after 10 years here, I sang my first English piece in Kamakabre, but like normally I'm just singing...
But is Kamakabre actually written in English? Yeah, no, I think there is
It's Swedish, right? No, I don't...
Swedish?
No,
Okay.
I don't know. No, sorry, that's false.
But you sang it in English. Okay.
I didn't.
Because
Sorry, my
singing-
brain is.
Are you talking about accents or languages?
languages.
No, but it was my first time singing in English in Germany. After 10 years of being here. So I have to say I like German.
Yeah, and for you, Lucia?
I do love singing German, and I appreciate Italian, and I didn't appreciate English when I was in school, but I really do appreciate singing it now.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty complicated phonetics to make it understood.
Absolutely.
In a house of 1,000 people or more.
When I just sang an English opera, you were actually my English diction coach, Lucia. It was so interesting how we worked on this score because you took away the fear. I was so scared to sing an English opera, especially by Britain, someone that Britain cared deeply for language. You know, he was married to he was with Peter Pears, we have to say. And so you were such a brilliant language coach. Do you sometimes coach other singers as well for English?
No, that was a secret.
That was a secret. Oh my God.
No,
I also coach with her my English.
It was wonderful. We worked so like you showed me so much about language.
I love coaching people. I love helping people. But it's not something that I do for work, officially. And I don't know if I would want to because I love putting in the time, and I love putting in more time than I would be comfortable taking money for. But I do love coaching people on English.
So you're both from California, wonderful state of California. I have been to LA. I actually sang a concert there many, many years ago. It was during this time of the year. No, even later in the year. It wasn't during this December, and it was warm. It was nice. So how did you first react when you found out about winter in Germany?
Well, coming directly from Chicago to Berlin, it's actually warmer here.
Yeah, that's true. Chicago is a cold city.
Hard to imagine, but I can remember Ariana and I coming back from the airport. I think I was picking her up, and we had suitcases like really through snow. So I don't know. It didn't seem so bad to me, but you came directly from San Francisco, which is a little bit more mild.
I suffer every year.
Every year, right?
Yes.
No, winter in Germany is, I think, really particularly weird. It is wet. In Switzerland, our winters are dry because we're higher up in the mountains, and we have a lot of sunny days. Not maybe in Zurich. Zurich is known to be cloudy during the winter months, but in the mountains, it is sunny and dry. And so you actually don't feel the cold as much as here. Here you are like freezing. When I leave the house, I'm freezing. So we're not in the beautiful Californian sun here. Is there some pop music from California that you like? I always think of boy bands.
Oh, I love Cake.
Okay.
Also the food, but the band.
The band, yeah.
They have a song called Opera Singer, and it's very silly. And it says, I stand on painted tape, and it tells me where to throw my cape, and it's very silly. And it came out about the time that we were both in college together.
There is this stupid question that we as singers are always asked, and it is, why did you become a singer? And I'm sure you have answered that multiple times, so I will not ask you this. But I would like to know what keeps you going to be a singer. What fascinates you?
I became an opera singer because of her.
What?
So, yeah.
Because I liked it so much, and you thought it would help.
Yeah, so I went to Tower Records and bought like $300 of like opera recordings, and became an opera singer.
And you?
I always loved opera, I guess. I don't know. I also really liked Broadway, and I couldn't really figure out how to belt, so that's kind of how I ended up picking opera. And I can't dance so great either. So,
like in the US, you have this wonderful Broadway culture. Here, I think in Europe, we don't really know how great these shows are. When I studied in New York, I actually only heard about them. And there are so many of them. It's not just one Broadway show, it's like 20 that are on every day. They have like sometimes 2 shows per day. And it's a whole culture. And kids are like, they grow up. They have their dreams. I want to become a Broadway star, right?
yeah.
It's kind of hard to imagine if you haven't actually walked through New York. You go, oh, Broadway. Oh, that's a theater, right? No, that's a street just full of theaters with shows that are sometimes full-time shows, and they go for years.
Do you have a favorite Broadway show, like a piece that you like?
I love Phantom of the Opera. I love it. It's so funny. It's so funny, especially because it's about, like, it's a musical about the job that we do. You see like an intendance excellence at like the beginning of the music. It's a musical about our job. Like, I find it so fun and silly. And
I don't have a favorite one, but I do love watching Ariana watch Phantom.
Is it like a one-woman show at home?
Yeah.
Should we? Do you want to present something right now?
I used to know the whole thing, like auswendig. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, people make fun of it. They're like, "Oh, that's not opera." Well, no, it's not opera. It's a musical about opera.
It is a musical.
I thought, as a kid, though, I mean, the Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff, it's so like big and exciting when you're like a little kid, especially like Cats, when you're like little and you see these like crazy looking dancers on stage, being Cat. I don't know.
I always wanted to see Singing in the Rain.
Oh.
Or Billy Elliot. I've never seen it live.
We should go.
Yeah, we should. Or something actually in New York that was always on my list to see. It's not a Broadway show, but a show was Saturday Night Live. It was all like at Juilliard in my first week, they said, during my 2, 4, or 6 years in New York, I hope to see blah, blah, blah. Some people said, I want to walk up to the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building. I want to go to Central Park. And I was like, I want to see Saturday Night Live. And I've never made it to see a show. I once got a ticket for The View, but then it was in the morning and I forgot about it. So I slept. So then I think I got actually blocked by the ABC studios because if you're a no-show, you can never get a ticket again. But SNL, I would really love to see a recording of it. Have you ever?
Love to see that.
We would love to see that.
Must be, because that's a craft. That's like also something we don't really have in Europe. We don't have the late night shows. We have 1 or 2 shows in Germany, but the American late night shows, they're so special, and they come out of this Broadway culture, right?
I've always loved comedy. Yeah, just the turn of phrase. Why is a sentence interesting? Which also in opera, it's like, what is the point? Why am I saying this? Especially like Wagner Deutsch, because sometimes there's extra emphasis put in there by the way that it is wrong grammatically.
We talked about your role preparation before, and I want to come back to this a little bit. You sing a repertoire that is not only demanding vocally, but intellectually. You sing repertoire that is so difficult to understand the story, sometimes like Elektra. If you really go deep into the story, it's not something that comes to you lightly, right? And we are all trained at school to, learn these roles, but we are trained at a point in our lives to learn these roles when we don't actually perform them. So how do you keep your process? How do you keep the process of learning your role, taking care of your voice and your body fresh? How do you keep that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the job is traveling around and staying healthy. Like that's the job. Yeah, the minimum requirements is doing the job, but the actual active job is trying to stay healthy while everybody's coughing at you on a plane or a train. No, really,
so bad. We are traveling all the time, and then we go somewhere. There's someone coughing in our face, and we might get sick, and then we can't sing, right?
For me, like I've been very lucky this last season where there has been a terma basically in wherever I've been living, like across the street or in the complex or, So I do so much. If I have the option to, I try to relax between, performances and rehearsals and just go and clear my mind and de-stress and, get that good steam, that good sauna.
I love it.
I think it's because you running around with suitcases and always being with a different mattress, a different apartment, you get so much tension. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to, keep your body relaxed and healthy and take care of yourself.
I remember one night I traveled to see your debut as Clytemnestra, and I helped you pack your suitcase backstage because you jumped into a taxi after the show, went to the train station, took like a night train or something to Wiesbaden and sang a matinee of Fliegende Holländer the next day.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, in less than 24 hours, 2 shows in 2 countries, 2 different houses, 2 different conductors. That takes so much of you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I think you get used to it, Mm-hmm. And then just deciding when you get older, like how much stress, what's good stress for you, what's bad stress. That was lovely stress, actually. I love Wagner and I love Strauss. So it was,
and you saw me.
And I saw, actually, okay, to be quite honest, let me be real honest. Honestly, I couldn't have done it without you. It wouldn't, okay, if we're being real, like you need good friends and family that can help you make these things possible. Because my whole garderobe, had like pots and pans and
her garderobe looked like there was an explosion.
Yeah.
And someone traveled through time. And came with their suitcases.
But you're in these theater apartments and you get there and you don't have olive oil and you don't have salt. Yeah.
Pepper.
So you buy everything and then you're like, what do I do with all of this stuff? I have to leave. And it's 6 weeks and you acquire so many things.
Yoga mats. Everything.
Yeah.
Right?
So I had so much more than 2 suitcases worth. And
I could have thrown a Thanksgiving dinner with the ingredients that you had in your dressing. It was actually funny because I was clearing out your stuff and there people knocked do you still have some noodles? I heard you have some pasta in here. I'm like, yeah, take noodles. And I was like, pesto. I heard Ariana pesto, yeah. And then I had to actually bring you to the premiere and fire to because you had to bow in front of the audience when the intendant gave his speech. And then you were bowing, you were having a glass of champagne, you were talking. And then I went around, I'm like, hello, I am Mrs. Lucas' agent. And I'm very sorry, but I have to pull her away because she has a taxi waiting. And then people were like, isn't this Aeneas Whom? I'm like, no. I'm her agent. My name is Damien. Hello. Nice to meet you. I actually told them I'm Damien with my middle name, so not a lie. And then I think ever since there is this gossip. No, my agent name should be Damien. Ever since there is this saying, there is a new agent, Damien.
He's very good.
It's very good, right? Maybe I should start a fake Instagram, Damien Agency.
I didn't know this was your middle name. I'm horrified. I think I knew this, but I forgot it because I'm learning I'm memorizing my next piece.
You're memorizing Mahagoni right now because you will be giving your debut at Komische Oper Berlin this fall.
But I'm putting the finishing touches on it, so I'm a little stupid right now. I start rehearsal in 2 weeks. I think I knew your name was Damien.
You help her?
Yes.
She gave me a Sprach coaching last night at 15 till 10 before the Ruhezeit. So we were screaming in our apartment between 9:45 and 10. We were screaming this Brecht text. Yeah. What's my middle name?
Wait, I forgot.
Renee.
All right.
Renee and Damien.
They're
trouble.
Renee and Damien Opera Agency. What's you have a middle name?
None.
None. Okay.
Danger should be my middle name.
Lucia Danger.
So
then our agency would be called Damien Danger Renee.
That sounds
then
good.
the initials would be DDR. No. That's not a good idea.
Was habe ich gemacht? Was habe ich getan?
Oh, no.
That's not a good idea.
No.
So I think to our listeners, usually with my guests, I drink coffee only. But because Ariana Lucia and we are so close, we are going to have some Prosecco now. And of course, our wonderful sound engineer can have a glass too. You want some Prosecco? Yes.
Lovely, thank you.
So we have classic doppio plus a little Italian prosecco because we need dolce vita.
Oh,
So beautiful today. We have to soak up the sun.
Yeah, inside. It's a beautiful fall day.
Plunged into eternal winter.
What is your favorite drink after a show? What do you usually have?
my favorite drink after a show, if I know that I'm going to be drinking, or if I know that I'm going to be singing in the next day or two, it has to be gin tonic.
Oh, I love a good gin.
I mean, I love a good gin, but also it's I can sing right after it, and if I have wine or beer, it definitely affects my voice.
I love a good Weizenbier after a show, I have to say. It relaxes your chords, I think. But a gin I love too. I also love a Negroni, a good Negroni. But usually when I sing like back-to-back shows, I don't drink any alcohol. I try to really drink water, tea, coffee.
Yeah.
Is there food that you cannot eat when you perform?
Tomatoes, and I try and stay away from peanuts.
And you?
I think cheese might be bad for me.
Well, for anyone, anybody using the voice,
Oh, is it?
right? Yeah.
I really love it though. So
I mean, I'm from Switzerland. I like the first thing I do in the morning. I have some cheese.
yeah, me
I
too.
love cheese.
I think red wine is also like a no-go for me.
To opera, to
Cheers.
friendship.
To friendship,
Cheers.
to love.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God. It sounds like I'm an alcoholic, but first sip is always great, right?
So delicious. But we don't drink a lot when we're working. So
No.
that's the thing. I think I went like months without having any sort of celebration, nothing, because I was so busy with shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a quality about Californians that you think is unique?
I think there are not so many native Californians.
Really?
Yeah. Like everyone thinks it's cool and they move there and they work
Oh,
there. But
okay.
like real native Californians or people who's, second generation, third generation, I don't find this so much, oder?
Yeah, I mean, I think the stereotype is that Californians are relaxed, which might be true to a point.
I agree. I think Californian people and Australian people, I always find to be very like calming to be around, even in stressful situations, right? I have a pianist I work with. Her name is Claire, and she's from Australia. And when I'm stressed before a concert, she's calming me down so much that it's a quality I find in a lot of people from California and Australia. Maybe because there are surfers and you're close to the ocean, right?
Yeah. Nature.
Maybe.
And you have Californian wine, which is
Yes.
world known.
Yes, so good.
You have a favorite?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I love a good Californian Chardonnay.
Do you have a favorite? Oh, Poison. But this is
Poison.
not a Riesling,
No, this is not
I don't
a
have a
Riesling.
favorite Riesling from California, but Poison's fabulous.
Poison is fabulous. Yeah, Poison was this this red wine that was very, very peppery, and it was made with old grapes and new grapes, and it just makes you want a steak. And it was served with a skull and crossbones on the front in red, with like red candle wax dripping all down it, like blood, and then it was served in a coffin. So it was a beautiful sort of gift. Like it almost looked like a prank gift, but the wine was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh my God. You can't still buy it, or?
I don't know.
We should find it.
We should find that
But
out.
we're not red people, so like for us to like a red, it was very good red. But Californians, I feel like they're very like open people, very friendly, but not in like a fake way, like just open, friendly. My friends
Northern
that are
California.
we are Northern Californians. It's a different thing.
Well, because Hollywood and LA, Hollywood's known for being, it's a stereotype, but they're known for being more fake. And I think Northern California is a little bit more honest. Like when I first came here, I think that Californians are generally like wanting to engage with people, wanting to talk with people. And I've heard that sometimes people think that that's fake or something like that. because it takes a little bit more time to develop a friendship here than in California.
Often German or Swiss people, when they talk about the Americans, they say, oh, everything is so like oberflächlich, superficial.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really true, because during the 2 years that when I lived in New York, and of course New York is special because it's a bubble, like it's a bubble in the United States as well. I was welcomed by like so many like families of friends from school. Like they invited me to their homes. They were like, oh, fly to Texas for the weekend, or come for Thanksgiving. Like I was invited with like such open hearts that I don't think that's superficial, right?
Yeah, but they don't have that experience to back it up.
Yeah.
So they can't imagine that somebody could be that warm.
That is true. Like people generally are warm and
I was never alone.
Yeah.
Like I never felt alone in New York, and it is easy to feel alone in New York City, right?
Yeah.
Something I love from California, and it is something we also talk about, is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think you were not here for this. My birthday party last year had a theme, and it was the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And we dressed up as the Real Housewives. Ariana was Lisa Vanderpump. I was Lisa Rinna. We missed you, of course.
I'm so sorry.
You're sorry to have missed it, or are you glad you were not here? It was fun.
I'm so sorry that I missed it.
She watches me watch it.
Oh yeah, I love this show. I hope there will be a Berlin version, and I will apply to be on it. I need to be one of the housewives. It's my destiny to be on reality TV, I think.
I think so too.
I agree.
You're both opera singers, you're musicians, and you have a unique relationship because you are both in the spotlight of opera. You perform all the time. Ariana, when we talked a little bit about the podcast, when I called you yesterday to, just inform you what we will talk about, you said, whenever we talk, usually we're all performing. And there was this one time you said when each and one of us was in a different dressing room, in a different country, singing a different show. So what do you think is unique about friendships in music?
I think we all understand the ebb and flow of stress. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, oh, you're 2 weeks away from rehearsal starting. Oh, I know what that means, and I think that you can join somebody on their energy journey and be supportive in that way. Even if you aren't in the same room, even if you're not in the same country, you can go, it's going to be okay. As soon as you get over this one moment, then everything's going to be easy and it's going to be great. Or just reminding like, oh yeah, did you try that restaurant down the street?
Yeah.
It's my favorite restaurant. Oh, I never heard of it. Oh yeah, you have to try it, and just
we can navigate through the journey that the other person goes through, right?
Yeah, it's crowdsourcing on so many different levels. Your emotions, your actual life in that city, your experiences with certain houses, or knowing that hey, this person, it will help you,
Like this is a great dresser.
This is a great dresser. Yeah. This stage manager is wonderful at their job, and if you're doing a Vita Aufnahme, and you're not getting, I don't know, the Vita Aufnahme DVD or something like that. Like if you need something, ask this person. Here's their email. Like this has happened so many times for me in the business with friends. It's just like, hey, I'm going to be at this house. Oh, here's what you need to know.
Mm-hmm. And for you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, you two are here. First of all, we're all in the same place, which never, ever happens. I don't remember the last time.
Once I made a roast chicken for you in Karlsruhe. That's like
chicken.
6 years ago.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It was during this time of lockdown when there was a curfew in Baden-Württemberg, and we had to be home by 10, I think.
Yes.
So we started the dinner at like 5 p.m. like old people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we're like, cook chicken, cook. We have to
forgot.
go. Yes.
You were like, Eneas, we have a schedule.
Yeah. I remember we had to be out.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, but what is special to you, with friendships in music? Because it's also hard. it is sometimes hard to become friends with the people you work with, right?
I don't know. I think all of my friends now, I mean, you too, the closest people in my life, I don't have to explain anything. We don't have to explain anything. We know why it was a bad day. We know why it was a good day. There's no explaining what we do. We understand each other. We understand the pressure, the stress, and we can really support each other all the time. It's great. I mean, you call your parents and you have to like explain the situation. It takes an hour to explain why something, why you're having a bad day. But with us, we just know.
I just remember when I came to your debut, Clytemnestra, you said there was one particular spot that you were not happy with. And I listened to it and I told you, I'm like, no, I think it was great. Like, I agree, you maybe, like I told you, like, there is something you can change. You can always grow in a part, but it helps sometimes to have a friend that you really trust, sit in and listen and then take away the fear and encourage you to say you can go, further with your exploration of a part or a technical difficulty. But for the premiere, it was totally fine because we always, das geht mir so. I always stress myself so much.
Yeah.
Like with Owen Wingrave, I was so scared of the reception of this opera. Like, what if I'm doing a bad job and then because of me, people will never play it again? It's a fear, right? And the repertoire we sing is not something easy, like Lily Elbe. I'm sure you felt a lot of pressure that you need to do a good job for this role.
Yeah, I think that any community that has a piece of art representing them, I think there's always going to be a bit of extra anxiety about that, because you want to give a good show, but you also want the end effect of it to be an overall positive for the community.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's tricky.
Do you think with your name, your biography, do you think you have a special responsibility in the music industry?
Yeah, well, when I came out in 2014, I was already in the business. Mm-hmm. So my goal was to not immediately leave the business. Because not just for me, but for the next person, even if I didn't want to stay in the business, like I felt like I owed it to whoever the next people are, to show that this is possible. It's possible to change something about your presentation, to open up about something very personal to yourself and say, I can still do the job at least as good as I could do it before. Mm-hmm. And I really felt a responsibility and a pressure early on. And then it was like, all right, I want to be in the business out as long as I wasn't, Mm-hmm. And I kept setting these sort of goals for myself. And I would say now, I don't feel like I owe anybody anything other than what I've already done. I'm very happy with what I've done. Mm-hmm. And, I still enjoy being in the business, so I'm going to keep doing that. And hopefully I'm a positive force. But I think that if I did owe anything, I hope that I have already achieved those goals.
Did you have to work on trusting people while going through this process? It's not something, it's not something that's easy for you as well. So the people you worked with, did you have to learn to trust them maybe again?
I guess when I was about to come out, I didn't expect to be able to trust anybody mm-hmm. at all. So I guess I was surprised by the amount of people who reacted positively. The amount of people who said, well, that's a private thing, mm-hmm. And especially work stuff like, well, if you can keep doing your job, then what's the problem?
Exactly. Yeah.
The people who reacted like that, great. And, the people who reacted negatively, I don't think that I could have done anything different that would make them react more positively.
Yeah.
So I guess I have a hard time trusting people in general. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess I was pleasantly surprised by how nicely everybody treated me.
How was that for you as a wife to see your partner, your best friend, your love going through a process in public? Basically, you were in public, you were working.
It was impossible not to be public.
Yeah.
I didn't put a pause in my career.
Exactly.
To come out.
Yeah.
It's just like I came out and then I was out.
Yeah.
I didn't take even a week off.
I mean, obviously, like I knew for ever. And there were people that you would think would be supportive that weren't. And then people that you would never expect to be supportive that were. So it was a very interesting sort of test, I guess, of our relationships with people and, how things are, I guess even now, it really surprises me how much privilege I have in the workplace. Things that I don't worry about, maybe having like an opinion with a conductor or a director or, a musical opinion or a dramatic opinion that I think is something right that I want to, at least discuss. And I think that I am treated a lot better, than she is sometimes. And I'm very, I feel very lucky that I have that privilege, but it also makes me very sad to think about, the types of things she has to deal with at work, even now. I don't worry so much when I go to work about how people will treat me because of my privilege. I know I go, I'm prepared, I know my music, and I will be treated nicely. But I know that, it's not always the same for everybody. And I was surprised by a lot of people. I was also disappointed by some people. And I'm mostly surprised at how well, like, Lucia has handled everything, all of these negative things, how she just brushes it off, goes to work, does her job, and is always striving for excellence, because I don't know if I could do this difficult job in those circumstances.
I really have to say, when I think of relationships that I admire and that I strive for, I look really up to your relationship. I think you have established such a bond to each other because of the history you share and also because of the jobs we do. You are in it together. And that's such an inspiration for me, and I think for a lot of people. I see the work you put in. Do you still feel, with music, do you still feel this sense of excitement to go on stage and to have the possibility of performing for people? Is that still here?
I think for me, the shift of being excited to be on stage to being excited when an opening night has happened or when a project is completed, I feel like more of the satisfaction has sort of changed to a successful project and not simply being on stage. I think when I was younger, it was fun to be on stage, and now it's fun when it went well.
Oh, I think it's just starting for me. I think because, I'm, one of these weirder voices, I guess, dramatic voices. They're always like, oh, you have to wait till you get older. And now I'm finally getting older and now I can finally sing. And I feel like it feels like kind of like a beginning, if that makes any sense. I feel so free on stage where I can be with any conductor, any tempo, anything, and I feel free. I can do whatever I want. And dramatically, I could play it, different every night. I have so much freedom, and this is very exciting to finally, I feel like I'm starting. Yeah.
We did a show together, Gianni Schicchi.
Yes.
And you were Zita, the old aunt.
Yeah.
And you were so funny. So I think you have this comedian side about you.
Yeah.
You saw it on video. It was one of those things during COVID with no audiences, just streaming. I was always, like, whenever we did the scenes with you, I was about to lose it. To just laugh because you're so funny. How do you learn to be funny on stage? It's because, like, there's this saying, the most difficult thing on stage is to be funny, right? It's pretty easy to be serious, to portray someone sad, but to make other people laugh is like eine Kunst. So how did you learn this?
You have to always be honest. You can never play something. You can never, you're doing it in the moment and it's always real. You never try to make anyone laugh. You're just doing it like you don't think you're funny. You're the character. You're just being the character. Other people have to think you're funny, but you don't process what's going on outside. And then the other thing is you're just always reacting to everything else, the text, the situation. Yeah. And you can't try, like you can never try. You just have to be honest. And sometimes it's hard because if you're with a director that sets up a joke and you have to play it and you have to play it every time the same way, and then it stops being organic, this is hard.
Yeah, I find that also in rehearsals, some scenes we shouldn't rehearse too many times because we need to keep them fresh, and we need to have, if there are more people on stage, we need to have their reaction fresh as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's actually with any scene. I tend to think, now that I work a lot in Spain and Italy, even in Austria, we had fewer rehearsals. And it was so helpful to the process because we all showed up. We knew we had 2 weeks less than in a German production. We were all there. There was no NA, like no Urlaubstage, anything. And we just rehearsed what we had to. And then it was fresh.
Yes.
And it's still like when we go to the premiere, it's still like sparkling and it's knistert, and sometimes when you rehearse for 6 weeks, or I've had even 8 or 9 weeks of rehearsals for a show, by the time you go to the premiere, you're like, oh God, I cannot hear this music anymore, right?
Yeah, the long
Yes.
rehearsal processes that I have had that go beyond 6 weeks, the ones that end up with a really successful opening night is where the team hasn't used all the time.
Right.
And they go, you know what? We've rehearsed enough for today.
Yeah.
So you rehearse over 8 weeks or something like that, but you're not doing 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like 2 hours in the morning and then, an hour and a half at night. It's like, oh, no, we did what we planned to do.
Yeah. I always enjoy when rehearsals are Monday to Friday, but never Saturday, Sunday, because I think as singers, we need to have 2 days off and we can actually, rest our voices and go to the therme. What you do, I don't know, what do you do to calm down and ground yourself?
Well, that's the thing is you need 2 days because you need 1 day to not do anything.
Yeah.
And then 1 day to do something fun.
Yeah.
Because you always need 1 day to relax, whether you have a day to go explore or go to a therme or whatever.
Like my Theaterwohnungen, they look like shit. When I rehearse, I don't clean. I don't do laundry. I'm so like in the process. So then once the day off comes, I know I have to get up at 6 to do laundry. I have to wash dishes. I have to go to the grocery store. I have to buy milk. I have to buy a salad. I have to buy food. I can't go to a restaurant every day of the week, sadly. So I think we need 2 days. I agree completely to collect ourselves and sometimes to prepare the next scenes, right?
Yeah.
Do you always arrive memorized to a rehearsal when you start a production?
Yes. If you don't get there memorized, ready to jump in for a performance of the show, the rest of the time is going to be stressful because
There's not an option, is there?
I never. I have to admit, my memorization is I think I have a very unique system. I learn it at home, and I learn it with the score. I never take the score away, almost, and then it's already in my brain, basically. And then we start scenic rehearsals and I just put the score away and I make a few mistakes, but I'm actually memorized. But I don't give myself the task. I'm memorized. So then I'm actually, even with dialogue, I just read it like Zauberflöte. Any Zauberflöte I do has a new version of dialogues, which is annoying because they're like flying in my brain, And now I have 3 versions at the moment that are, oh my God, where am I? And then I just read like, oh, ich habe Durst, blah, blah, blah. I read it. And then rehearsal comes and I put it away and it's there.
Cool.
I think that's unique because I see everybody like working.
Yeah, for me, the day that we start rehearsal, staging rehearsal, it's not going to get much better than that for me. So wherever it comes, wherever it is on that moment, it's probably not going to get that much better. Like the amount that you have to work on it is so much more, and you need to be relaxing during that off time. So I want to make sure that I'm just staying healthy and staying in a good frame of mind. So everything for me personally has to be done before I get there. But I will say that whenever there's a music rehearsal or a Sitzprobe or something like that where people could use music, I always do use music.
Same.
To check back in. Like if you're not, I mean, you don't have to, but I think that it's a really wonderful opportunity to have the music there so that if there's something different happening in the orchestra, maybe you weren't aware of a certain instrument playing a certain thing, you know, that's my line that happens later or something. You can discover new things. You can write stuff in.
True.
And if you're not writing in things in your music at a rehearsal that you ought to have music for, or you could have music for, then I think you're missing out on material. And I think that your conductor will always appreciate when you go, okay, I'm going to write that in to remind myself so that I do it right.
It's very interestingly, I love working with an iPad. I always have it with me. I have every score I currently sing, I have on my iPad, also to give it to my coach or to my teacher when I see them. But every opera I sing, I still need a score. I need the physical print because I do think with the brain memorizing it, it reacts quicker if you look at it on the score. I just had this experience this week. I was singing for a ZDF documentary movie, and I had the score backstage printed. And during the different, like whenever we changed the song, I would go back and look on the paper, and I could actually feel my brain reacting to the pages. And then when we recorded, I could know, okay, I'm now at the end of the page. I would flip the page and sing the next page. And I think in opera rehearsals, I enjoy it so much to have the physical score and then to write down stuff in the score, you know, staging or anything. What are you working with? Do you have your iPads? Do you have scores?
I love my iPad.
You love your iPad? Okay.
Yeah, because I can make so many different layers for every conductor, every production.
Yeah.
Like my scenic notes, my musical notes, my whatever notes. It's really lovely to have so much information available.
I started working on iPad pretty much in Corona time. And I have to say, when you're flying from city to city and country to country, it's really helpful to have your next 10 projects on there because it's impossible to carry everything. And also, I've been in an airport lounge where it's like, oh, here's version 3.
Yeah.
You know, a composer sends you a new version of the score, and if you didn't have an iPad, what are you going to do? Like run to the printer and like try and get an entire score printed out? No. But because you have it on your iPad, you can study it now. You know, maybe you can get some work done on the plane.
Study is a great topic. When we look towards education of the next generation of artists, and there is a next generation there are 2 generations already of singers out there. I give master classes, I coach sometimes. What do you think is really important in the education of young singers today?
I think that the most important part of education that is lacking, because of course there's a lot of things that people just do learn in school, and every school is different. But I think one of the things that people don't learn, whether it's a state school or a Musikhochschule or, you know, Juilliard or whatever, I think that people don't learn how to learn a role to prepare themselves for rehearsal. And so over 10 years ago, I wrote an article about how to efficiently learn a role. And so this is, I guess, sort of my contribution to that is, especially in music school, because if you go through theater school, there's probably more discussion about how to learn. But there's so much talk about singing in school, how to make a good sound, but not how to learn the role. And so I made my own process and I typed it out and I put a blog, and it's still on my website. It's still there.
We will link it in the show notes. Yeah.
Sure. And I think that it's worth a look for everyone, because, there's probably a bit of something for someone. But yeah, I think that people need to learn how to learn a role, the nuts and bolts of it. Because yeah, if everything's going great, you can go down to the coffee shop and just like look through the role, and then eventually it's ready to go. But what happens, when you have 5 kids, or when you have finals coming up, or when you have some sort of stressful situation in your life and you're not sure how to get that information into your brain? This is a system that you can do that with, no matter what's going on in your life.
Thank you, Lucia. Okay, I think I know my answer now. That was a hard one. Okay, so I think there's a big disconnect between I'm studying voice in the Hochschule and I'm singing on stage with conductor and orchestra. And it's so many people, like you have a whole Grabe that's like full of people and a conductor, and like this has to be together, right? And I think you see these kids that are like fresh out of Hochschule and they're just talking about their Stimme and like how to like, oh, I'm going to like, lift my soft palate and this and that. And then like they're thinking so much about these things, and they're like coming in late and not with the orchestra, and not thinking about all of the other people that are on stage with them, that it's a collaborative effort. Like you have to be with the conductor, you have to be with the orchestra. And I think when I was in school, I don't remember singers like caring about the orchestra part. They're just like, oh, I have my line and here's what it says in the piano, if they even, look at that. But they're just thinking about their line. And I think I wish that when I was in school, there was more emphasis on this work with dirigent, conductor, and with orchestra, and thinking about the instruments that you're singing with. And like, it's important that you're in time because it's a conversation.
Yes.
I mean, especially with the repertoire that I sing with Strauss, like these are all like very detailed, Gespräche in the orchestra instruments. And if I'm wrong because I'm taking time to listen to myself and make a beautiful sound, then I'm ignoring all of this other Zusammenarbeit. So I think that this is, you have this one side that is the voice that you work on with your Gesangslehrerin, and that's great. But there's this whole other skill set that is so important. It's not just that. That's work you do in the room, but you have to have other skills when you're on stage. Also being in tune, I think that's a great skill.
I really have to say the drill that I got at Juilliard was so effective for so many situations that then happens to me years later. Like I remember a day I was actually on vacation. I just finished Wozzeck in Barcelona at the Liceo, and Ben and I, we were on Mallorca, which is super close to Barcelona. It's an island, like a 30-minute flight. And we were just hanging out at the pool. We said, this is a weekend. We have finally a weekend off before I fly to the next project. And then my agent called and was like, do you want to jump in Ludwigsburger Festspiele in 2 days, premiering 3 works for baritone and symphony orchestra in Belarusian? And I was like, okay, your brain tells you no, but your singer persona says yes. So Aeneas said yes. Like I was at the pool and I was like, okay. I was like smiling to Ben. I was like, who are you talking to? I'm like, oh, a friend. So our vacation ended. And I got the score at the airport on my iPad. Actually, the situation that you just described, it was on my iPad. And during takeoff, the plane was rolling. I sent it to someone that I know is from Belarus. And I was like, I pay you whatever you want. Send me voice recordings of talking the text and write it down, not phonetically, but Lautsprache, because there was not enough time for me to learn the phonetics in White Russian. So when I landed, she was amazing. Her name is Lisetta, I think. She sent me the whole score. It was really 30 minutes of music. So basically an opera roll of Lautsprache and recordings. And then I studied all night, all morning. Then I went to Ludwigsburg. I sang the rehearsal of the orchestra, and the next day was the concert, and it was live on TV. And this was, I think, I only did it because I felt so confident because of the drill I got at Juilliard that I was like, I can do it. Yes.
You can do it, but not everyone should do that.
But I afterwards, I had this brain fog. My brain was so exhausted. The pressure was in my entire body. And I think we talked on the phone afterwards.
I remember that. I was backstage watching it. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I was watching your broadcast.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. But I was very nervous because I don't know very many people that could do that. In fact, you're the only person I know that could do that.
But I think what got me through this, and a lot of colleagues will probably agree that, are in the business too, that when you have some skills, when you know your technique, when you know like even one or two breathing exercises that calm you before a show in such a situation, or you know what you need to eat, you know what you need to drink, everything kind of sets you off for such a moment, right?
Yeah, to have a network and to know your process. Like you knew, okay, I need the score. I need to send the score to somebody on my team, basically. Like these are the steps that I need to do to make this pretty impossible thing happen.
We have a thing here at Classic Doppio. It's called Classic Doppio Speed. And I will now tell you some names or some words, and you can only react with one word, one gesture, one noise, but only one. One per person. Okay, are you ready?
No.
Maybe have a sip. Your glass is empty. Have a sip. Classic Doppio Speed. Here we go. Wagner.
Sprechstimme.
Ring.
Strauss.
Horns.
Love.
Whole Foods.
Hungry.
Hot meal buffet.
Oh, I love the buffet. Oh. Gin.
47.
Tonic.
Canteen.
Karlsruhe.
Steak and fries.
Voice lesson.
Repeat 3 times.
Netflix.
Chill.
Train.
Gym.
What?
Gym. Oh, train.
Train. Like the train.
Training in the gym.
Oh my God. Are you working out on the train?
I need to train in the gym.
No, the train.
Train.
Deutsche Bahn. Train.
Oh, you said gym. I said late.
Fail.
And now this is from Ben for you. Ben has a little entry here. High heels or sneakers. It's actually 2 words, but high heels or sneakers?
Heels.
Both.
Love.
Emoji.
Lucia.
Oh. Fighting.
Lucia.
Thanks.
Karlsruhe.
Purgatory.
Purgatory.
And finally, der Ring.
Cursed.
End it.
I hope we sing Der Ring together one time.
I would love to sing the ring with
now
you.
I'm working on, actually, this is also a secret, but I'm saying it now. I've been working on higher repertoire, and I'm studying Siegmund at the moment.
No.
Did I not tell you that?
Yes.
Oh my God, I want to hear it.
I had a dress rehearsal for a Liederabend, very big program, Dvorak, Brahms, Strauss, some aria antique in the beginning, to get me warmed up. And then after the dress rehearsal, I told my pianist Doriana Chakorova, who we all love, I told her, I said, please stay around. I want to now sing through Winterstürme after singing for 1.5 hours. And we played through it. I sang it, memorized, and I think it was the best I've ever sung.
I believe it.
I want to hear this.
Yeah, fantastic.
I really, really, really want to hear this.
And Siegfried too, you must.
Oh.
Yeah. It's actually something I enjoy. When I now know in November I will have 2 weeks off here practicing, and I can't wait to be back at it and just explore. It's not that I sing it on stage right now, but I have said goodbye to some repertoire in the past. Low repertoire, low roles. I can't sing anymore. So I'm going into not a new Fach, but I'm going to add something.
That's really cool. I want to hear.
What dreams do you still have for opera, for the industry?
I wish the industry would appreciate everyone individually. I wish people would be appreciated as individual artists. It's so much more interesting when you have individual artists and not everybody trying to be the same thing.
Beautiful.
I would love to hear perspectives from different types of people coming from different backgrounds, because it's very difficult to exist in opera if you're, don't have the resources, if you come from maybe a poor family, or you don't have, you're not coming from wealth. It's hard. It's very hard if you don't have support. And I would love to hear a wider variety of perspective of singers, because I think that these stories are important to tell, and if we're just looking at one sort of section of the population, like I don't know, I think we're missing out. Also from just different. I'd love to see like more women, directors, like and older women directors, like this perspective that I don't always see when I'm going to the opera house, like, an older woman who's in their 50s or 60s. Like, what is that point of view? Just a wider variety, because I think sometimes it's very hard to enter into this profession, and yeah.
I think that's something I never thought of until I went to Juilliard. For me, it was very easy to go into this profession. I'm from a family in Switzerland that cherishes culture. We have a lot of artists in our family. I was a member of the Zurich Boys Choir. It was kind of natural. I knew instruments. I knew music. Like if there was nothing, let's say there was not a big challenge for me at Music Academy. Of course, I had to study. I had to, learn music theory and ear training, which I'm still horrible at. But basically, the whole concept was clear to me. And then I met students that were so gifted, but they came from backgrounds that were so different, that they came from really poor families. And I noticed, like, for them to go into this, to learn this whole world of opera, which is so she, which is, it's important how you dress. It's important how you greet the donors of the opera, all of that. It was familiar to me, but it was not to a lot of colleagues. And the same goes for music history. So I agree. It would be so nice if the education of music would be accessible to so many more people, because there's so much more talent that deserves the stage.
Even the career, like if you're lucky to get to the career, the amount of resources, financial as well as just social resources, just not even talking about financial, but the social resources available to somebody who had a family who they were surrounded with that were already artists, that are already part of the system. That's huge. Ariana and I, we came here and we didn't have a network here. We've had to build our own network here. Not even talking about the financial resources, but just the social resources of it. It's from us living here for, over 15 years. It's the network that we built. But yeah, financially, and especially in the States, and in a country where education is free or subsidized, it's a little bit easier to go into. That doesn't help the financial aspect once you're in the business, because unless you are at the top 10% of the field, most of your money is just going to go. like your Steuerberater is like, so how do you make money? Because like all the money goes. Like, did you really buy this dress? Yes. Here's the concert. Here's the picture. Here's the film. Here's the picture. You know, yeah.
Like honestly, when we get a paycheck, by the time we get paid, we've already invested so much money. If we would count the hours we sit at a piano learning a score like Mahagoni or Lily Elbe or whatever, the coachings we need, the score costs money, everything costs money. And then we get paid a few thousand maybe for the whole project. Then we take away taxes, accommodation, traveling, coachings. Sometimes I'm left with like not enough to make a living, basically.
Sometimes it's in the red.
Yeah. There are projects, a lot of projects that I just do. And I know it will be in the red, but it's a wonderful thing. So I do it.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we do it because we love it.
Yes.
And I've had journalists ask me like, oh, if you didn't do opera, you know, what would you do then? And I said, probably make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But it's sad to see people not progressing in the business or leaving the business for these reasons when they're really interesting artists who have a lot to say, or seeing that they don't go as far in their careers as they could if they had more support. So I would love just to see more diversity at like the top levels, you know, like hearing different perspectives, especially if we're going to have productions that are, you know, telling these stories of people that live in the slums or live in like a very poor place and have really challenging circumstances. And then the people that are playing these characters on stage are, you know, really, really privileged kids that have no idea what that is like. I think that's a bit unfortunate. I would love to hear, like, I have some colleagues that are just so compelling artists, and I know their backstory and what they've been through. And seeing them on stage, it's a whole different thing. It's just like, I know they've lived this. I know that like this feeling, it's real. And I would love to see more of that, I guess. Like,
well, this was a really beautiful conversation with both of you. Thank you for coming to Classic Doppio. I really admire you, and I'm so happy that because of Karlsruhe we met, because I signed the contract there, and then we came into each other's lives. And thanks to our audience and whoever has been listening to this podcast now for the first time from the English-speaking audience, welcome. Yay. There will be more English episodes. And if you like this podcast, please subscribe, follow us, share this link to this show with your friends and family on WhatsApp, on whatever app you use, on Grindr, if you're on Grindr. Just help us to make this podcast. And thanks to Berliner Röststätte for the wonderful coffee they present.
Thank you. Delicious.
Thank you
right?
so much.
Yeah, I love Röststätte. I really have to say of course I have to say that because they help me, but I really enjoy Sinfonia coffee. It's something I miss when I'm not here. We always end Classic Doppio with a humoristic story or joke. And I've also asked you to prepare something. And please, Bühne frei.
Everybody loves a knock-knock joke, right? So this is my favorite one. And I learned it like 20 years ago, and it's my favorite. So what I need you to do is you start.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Gotcha!
Oh my God.
Gotcha. All right, whatever.
That's a joke?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She does it to me once a year, and I forget about it. Like,
but she doesn't say gotcha, and I
no,
don't say gotcha.
I don't say that. No,
we just sit there for about 5 minutes,
and I go, "What was the
What's
joke?"
happening?
Yeah.
Since we are drinking Prosecco, what's the funniest thing that ever happened to you on stage?
I mean, in the world premiere of Lily,
Yes.
after it went well, there was so much water on the floor because of this weird scene at the end, that during the bows, I almost fell on my face during the bows.
Like walking.
Walking across the wet floor, the wet, slippery floor.
And here she comes.
Yeah, and actually, they cut it out of the video that they made of the premiere. But you can see the audience go, and then it cuts to them clapping again. I know, that's where I almost fell.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. Thank you for coming to Classic Doppio, and I love you both.
Oh, I love you too.
We love you so much.